Ciao a tutti, my name is Stefano and in today's video I'm going to talk about one of the most beautiful parts of Italy, which is Sicily. And more specifically on where to stay in Sicily, what are the best areas to visit. You either travel with your kids and family, with just your partner, to have a relaxed time or for just nightlife, isn't it? But let's go straight to area number one. Well, one. The first place I want to talk is Palermo. Palermo has one of the two international airports. The other one is in Catania, and we're going to talk later about Catania. And it's also the best place for the romantic stay, you know, if you're flying just with your partner. Absolutely beautiful city. Also, if you're into historical sites, the old part of Palermo is absolutely gorgeous. So, two good reasons to visit Palermo. The third reason I would say for the short stay in Palermo, if you're thinking about traveling to Sicily for just 2 or 3 days, then Palermo has to be, because it's gonna give you the Sicilian experience. If you're traveling with a family, probably I wouldn't suggest to stay in Palermo city itself, but maybe in Mondello, which is the town about 8k from Palermo, where you find the wide, nice beach where all of the people from Palermo go in the weekend. Absolutely gorgeous, and you can spend your time there with your kids if you want, and then maybe in the late afternoon you can take a short ride taxi and go to Palermo for a walk there. And that's pretty much it about Palermo. Now let's move to area number 2. In this video I'm not gonna mention any hotel or Airbnb, but I wrote a full post about where to stay in Sicily, which I highly suggest to go and read, because you can find also maps that you can download there, and also a few hotels and Airbnb that I highly suggest in the island. The second area I want to talk is west of Palermo, where you can find 2 spots which work fantastically well. The first one is San Vito Capo, which is a town with a nice long and wide beach and shallow water that works perfectly well for a trip with your family and kids. And then there is Trapani. Trapani is a very old town, absolutely beautiful, with a mix of Byzantine and Norman architecture, Arabian architecture. You can find all of historical eras into the architecture of this city. It's also a very romantic place to be, which works fantastically well for couples. From there you can take the cable car and you can go up to the old town of Erice. You can go to a few temples around Trapani. You can also get the 45 minutes ferry where will take you to the Aeolian Islands. Absolutely beautiful, incredible water. Again, a fantastic experience west of Palermo. The third area I want to talk is Agrigento and the Valley of the Tempo, which works fantastically well if you are into historical sites. The Valley of the Tempo is one of the most beautiful that you can find in the world, with plenty of temple from the Greek era. You can literally spend 1 or 2 days just visiting them all. Or, if you are short on time, just plan your visit maybe towards the end of the day, especially in July and August when it's very hot. You know, at sunset time you have beautiful colors, and also temperature is a little bit cooler. Anyway, the historical park closed very late in the day. The Agrigento town itself is also a nice romantic place to spend some time, and in this respect I suggest this visit also to couples, where they can spend the time into the maze of little lanes of Agrigento, but they can go also to the beautiful and unique beach of the Scala dei Turchi, where you can find a wide formation of rocks really unique in the world. And this takes me to area number 4, which is highly suggestive for people looking into historical sites. Why? Because in 1693 there was a huge earthquake which destroyed completely all of the towns and cities on the east coast, and they were rebuilt with the Baroque style. So what's happening there is that you can go in amazing towns like Noto, like Ragusa, or like Siracusa and the island of Ortigia, where you think you are in a different era. absolutely gorgeous. You can wander around the lanes of the town. You can spend easily 2-3 days just visiting all of the towns into this area. It's definitely a romantic place for couples to visit, there is no question about. If you're traveling as a family with kids, I would probably suggest to stay on the coast, and one of the towns I like the most is Fontane Bianche because the beach is again amazing. And now let's move north into the Catania area. Area number 5 on the east coast of Sicily. There are a couple of spots which I highly suggest. The first one is the city of Catania, which has the second international airport, so very easy to get in. It's a very practical place to be because from there you can organize plenty of day trips to the, for example, to Noto or to Syracuse, we just talked about, to the Ortigia island of course. You can go to Taormina on a day trip, just 30 minutes by train. You can go trekking in Vietnam. So you see how many things you can do from Catania. Catania is also very well known for the nightlife. Now, people from Palermo may disagree with me now, but I think Catania has probably the most beautiful, fantastic nightlife in the island. The second spot that I want to suggest is Taormina, which works very well if you want to have a romantic stay over there. It's an old town, it's perched on a hill, absolutely gorgeous view. It's very popular, so I expect plenty of tourists around, but in saying that, it's a must visit in the island. And when you want to have a swim, you can just go down to Giardini Naxos, which is one of the top beaches in Sicily. Absolutely gorgeous. And also from Taormina, it's easy to organize a day trip to the Etna mountain, so again you have plenty of possibilities there. Here I am with area number 6, which are the Aeolian Islands. You can reach them with a 2.5 hours ferry from the town of Milazzo. This is a lovely place if you want to have a romantic time with your partner just out from the world. There are a few islands there, with Lipari probably the most popular one. It's very green island actually. It's beautiful there, and then you can have, you know, day trip to other islands nearby, like Vulcano Island if you are into trekking. It's a place probably I would suggest on a second trip to Sicily because it's slightly different from what you expect from the Sicilian island. You know, it has their own microcosm. And now I want to give you the last area, which is a little bit of a gem. Let's get straight into it. The last place I want to talk is the town of Cefalu, which is one of the most beautiful and still sort of unknown gems of Sicily. It works very well for families and kids because it has a long and wide beach where you can spend some time being the castle with your kids. But it's also a very romantic place to be because the old town and the maze of lane is absolutely gorgeous, and then you can walk on top of a hill where there is also a castle with a gorgeous view. And I'm gonna put a video about it. And with Cefalu, I'm gonna end this video. I'm sorry I haven't talked about more places, but I wanted to keep this video short, but you can read more about Sicily into my post in the video description. I suggest you to subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna post in the next weeks a few more videos about Sicily, like the best itinerary that you can do and organize in Sicily. So I see you in the next video. Bye bye, ciao da Stefano.